Hello and welcome to a second in a series of videos related to JBoss EAP 7 migration. In this video, as we're working down our what stack, we're going to look at the how and how we work through our development challenges. So what challenges do we face? Well, we've got some underlying technology changes. When we move to EAP 7, there are three things that are going to change. We're going to change our Java SE, more than likely, I would have thought. We're definitely going to change our JEE version, and we're going to change some JBoss component things. These will be fundamental to the challenges that we face with our code, just in case we're using things that have now been deprecated or removed, and we might want to utilize the new functions, methods and components that we have there. And also we need to look at our compatibility with any frameworks that we might use within our deployments, in interfaces that we might be using, web services, and there might be some server configuration changes. There might be some cluster configuration as an example of things that may change. And there may be new standards to follow that we need to be aware of. So within the code base, there's a bunch of challenges that we need to look at and plan before we deploy to make sure they work with our new version. And there are some tools to help us do that. There's a tool called Windup, and there's a tool called the JBoss Migration Toolkit, and we'll just have a little look at those. First though, we'll have a look at the JEE specification. Now from this page, there's a lot of different colours, but what you can see is the darker blues are the new JEE 7 modules, JSRs, and the very dark ones are the ones that are new and introduced in this particular JEE. The lighter colours are those from the previous JEEs that have now been removed. So as you can see, there's an awful lot of JSRs in the new JEE, and it's quite a large specification. So therefore, there could be a lot of changes in your code required, potentially, if you make use of those JSRs in previous versions. And there could be new features, of course, that you can add because of the new JSRs that have been added. But it's worth studying these at some point just to make sure that you know what the changes are within those JSRs of that JEE version. That's the biggest change you'll probably find. And of course we've got our versions of JBoss and Java updated, and you can see there, as we saw in a previous talk, that the EAP 7 components, there were a few major changes there in terms of the JBoss Web and the Hornet Queue. So whilst you can get some backwards compatibility for Hornet Queue, there are changes there that you may need to be aware of. And fundamentally, the EAP 7 core has changed from AS to Wildfly, though some of that shouldn't be a problem for you, but you should always check all of that kind of thing. With Java 1.8, I'm not a developer, but there has been a lot of changes within Java 1.8. And there's some things there. I mean, it should be backwards compatible with any Java 1.7 code that you've got running. You shouldn't really need to recompile that. But again, testing is valid for all of your code changes. Some other things that you can see there on the list that you may be worth pointing out is the security updates. There's always security updates within the different versions of Java, and if you are using any of the security facilities there, then you should double check those because it's likely that they will cause you an issue. So onto the tools. So Windup is at version 3 at the moment, and what it does is it analyzes code and gives you a report on the compatibility with JBoss EAP. It's part of the migration toolkit. In fact, it's the only thing on the migration toolkit, I think, at the moment. There are only a few versions it does, so it does 5 to 7, so you'll be fine with that. And actually, it does produce a very high level quality report now and actually allows you to provide planning and effort estimation. So it will provide you a report that shows you how much effort it will take you to modify the code, and it will categorize those in terms of how important they are and the priority you should spend on them. And you can add your own rules. If there are certain things that you want to particularly report on, then you can add your own rules to their standard set. So definitely worth looking up and using WindUp when you're migrating to EAP7. That should solve you a lot of your headaches. In terms of configuration code, there's a product called the Server Migration Tool, which has recently gone into CR1 version 1. Now that is very limited in the versions that it can migrate from. It currently only does EAP 6.4 to 7. And basically what it is doing there is it's configuring your standalone domain XML files, so your standalone.xml, for example, to utilize the new JBoss 7 components and the renaming and remanufacturing of those. So it will keep an original copy of the previous file, but it will also change all the different ones as well, and also provide you a report. I think that's limited in its use because it's of the versions, but if you are on EAP 6.4 and you're moving to 7, you might as well use it because it automatically does a lot of the hard work for you. So it's been a fairly brief run through of the development challenges. Primarily, you've also got to look at the Java, JEE and JBoss changes, the updates, the component changes within JBoss, and it's all part of your migration planning. And you need to redevelop if necessary. And of course you test. For a successful migration, your full testing cycle is key. So thank you for listening. And next time we'll be looking at how we create that migration strategy and plan. See you next time.